we experienced some difficulties with the audio. So the practice of Hatha, the page arts teaches that awaken and return to the original mind. When we practice, we should awaken, but not, realize the words of the teaching. So, so the page arts gives this example. There is the Hans dog in the back in time. The Han dog is very smart. It's very smart. Chase after the bone, and its behavior is totally different from the lion. And the lion is not chase after the bone, but it goes after the one who throw the bone. So basically, this is what it means as if us practitioners, if we chase after the words of the page arts or the Buddha, then we still go on with our karmic energy or habits. So we should awaken from our cell nature as a lion. The lion skill is basically able to get to the person who throw the bone. So the person who throw the bone is basically a cell nature. So when we start asking the question, the Hatha question is not based on the word, the meaning of the Hatha or the question. So the doubt is where we want to go directly. So if no doubt, then no awakening. So our practice Hatha is basically self-release, that subject and object. So the doubt is basically take us to directly into the original mind or self nature. But if we still ask the question and we still able to solve something, and Zen Master Li Kwa, he said that if when we practice this method, our mind become very slow, very not very smart way, street smart. That is good side. But when we know a lot of things in this practice, then probably that's something we need to question our practice. And when we contain too much information or knowledge, then we not be able to remember everything. And when we age, then those information basically is mixed up. Sometimes we remember this, but we don't remember the other. So we need to remember the words of the page arts or the wise one to remind us that. So when we practice, it basically match with what the words and the practice of the page arts or the wise one. So and that's when we able to see that everyone walk on the same path, and we align with the words of the Buddhas and the page arts. Because right now our practice is not that strong yet, and that's why we get distracted by worldly situations, obstacles, and that's why our Huatou cannot create a lot of doubts. So once we on this path and practice the right way, then we able to see the same map as the patriarchs and the wise one. So the intention of patriarchs, if we get stuck on the words of the Buddha, the patriarchs, then we chase after the words, just like the Hans dog, the smart dog, chase after the words. So if we direct our mind to their words, and you realize something, actually you realize something, but it's still on the cell attachment. It's not the cell awakening. So only in the depth of your practice, you go beyond words, and that's when you're able to experience the true nature of the self, true self. So this is a story about the practitioner named Dave Boomho. He was a scholar, and he loved to read books, and he's very advanced scholar. So one day he questioned one of the labor worker who very skillful in making the wheels for the carriage, the horse that carries the carriage. So one day, this labor worker asked Mr. Tề Hong Kong, the scholar, what are you reading? I am reading the words of the saint. Well, are they still alive? And this scholar say, nope, they're all dead. And then he said that the labor worker said that, well, if they all pass away, it doesn't make any sense you read their words anymore. So if you don't have your own experience and you read their words, it's worthless. So this scholar, he's a very powerful man. He challenged this man, the labor worker. He said that, what do you do? He said that, I'm a skillful carve the wheel for the carriage, for a carriage. And I said that, even I have my own son, and I try to pass on my skill to him to make a really good, wheel that, match with the axle, so it able to run smoothly. And my son, he been with me for a very long time, but he's not able to make, a really good wheel. So you have to experience your own, skill, and you know what it's like. And you cannot read the words from the saint. So from this teaching, the scholar was realized that, his weakness. So based on this story, if we based on our learning, our collect, knowledge, and it's maybe not able to help our practice go deep into the direct mind. So if you able to awake self nature, and if we attach the words, then it's going to create another problem. So we should remember the teaching, the practice, but not the words. You should let go of the words. So at the end, you're able to create this. The cause is doubt, and it's going to lead to the effect is the awakening. So that you're able to discover yourself nature. So that's what I want to share with everyone this morning. So if you have any questions or comments, please raise your hand. Dear Thay, dear practitioners, can you explain to me the skillful means of encounters in life, but our mind not disturbed? So through our practice, how can we do that? So when we say the all the conditions arise and our mind not distract or create the obstacles. So based on our practice, when we practice, we need to learn how to practice. And when we practice, maybe we're not there yet. We're not how to practice. So we should follow the guidelines, the 10 guidelines in the book. So right now, if you ask the question and raise the doubt throughout our daily life, our responsibilities, our families, our society, everything is the same. But the one change is we just go with the flow while we practice. Our mind is always create this doubt from the what question. So before, if we don't practice it, our mind, is gonna arise with self-attachment with the ego, I, my, me, all the time. So right now, when we practice that, reduce or release the self-attachment of the I, me, mine. So it's basically it's self-adjust all the wrongdoing, all the false mind. So this is the practices. Eventually, it's gonna get rid of self release the self attachment, and you're able to let go the hatred, the anger, and so on, love. So when we practices, when we talk about Huato, we're not talking about gaining something, seek something, or you even fear of something. It's not about those things. We just ask the question and create a doubt. And everything is the same. To do whatever you need to do in your daily life. But we need to put our practice kung fu as our priority. And our even some days we experience some emotional problem, and it can overcome very quickly by itself. So if we don't practice this, we're gonna get back to our own habitual patterns again. So just like remember before you practice this, sometimes we experience suffering, some sadness. It dragging on really long time, and by now if you practice this, you're able to experience a difference. But this is not something that you you cling on, right? It's just a cell release, we shouldn't attach to that either. So it's all the things, in our life, in our world. It's just like the flowers are in the void. They're not real. They are always changed. They always um they are temporarily survive themselves, and then they disappear. So when we're able to practice this, it's a cell release, all the karmic seeds as well. So that's how you think of as all the conditions arise, but our mind not um, uh, cause any problems. So as I explained this, you understand? Yes, thank you, Thien. So, dear Thai, can you explain more or talk more about the impermanence? So how we can truly understand the impermanence when we pass away, all this consciousness leave our body, um, life and birth. Basically, it's like the flowers in the void. How can so when how can we realize from this teaching of the impermanence in this life? How can we realize this and we able to alleviate the suffering, or we just let it happen naturally? Um, so can you give us your perspective on this teaching? Thank you. Because our mind attached to reality. When you attach to permanence and impermanence, so that's why we get stuck in this view, and we try to escape from this, and we can't. So in the teaching, the Buddha mentioned this about the void. The void is not dark or light. So the light and dark not relate to the void. It's not affect or influence the void. So when the void is dark, we call it the night. And when the void is light, we call it the day. So we attach to this view, perspective, duality. Then we cannot escape this because of our self-attachment. We use the ignorance to seek for the enlightenment. That's impossible because if we don't keep our doubt, and when we run on the ignorance energy, so it's example when the cow is walk around this anchor, walk around, it cannot go it cannot be freely go beyond that anchorage. So the our basics practice is we need to remove that anchor. So that way we're able to be free. And if we really uproot this anchor, this is the origin of the ignorance. This is the origin of our birth and death. And that is the motto. And in order to uproot this, you need the doubt. We need the great doubt to uproot it. You cannot use any other skills to do this. Because of our humans' self-attachment, we always rely on the dualism. When we attach to something, then the Buddha tried to help us to get out of that, to negate it. So, and when we attach to nothingness, then the Buddha have to give us something to attach to. So we return to the reality. And we always attach to this duality. So the form never, the form is never the birth of death, life or death. But we attach to the form, and then we can see the life and death. And it's just like the flowers in the void. They're not real, but because our eyes, thought is real. So the nature of the void is basically pervade everywhere. So if we attach to this sick view of duality, then we even go to fall deep into the ignorance, and we're not able to stay in the true Buddha Dharma. So in order for us to uproot the ignorance, we need to ask the motto. We need to go beyond duality in order to reach to the original nature of the mind. So believe in your own mind and practice and continue to do the Kung Fu. And that's my explanation to you. So thank you for your explanation today. So this is the question. The next question from her is basically how she is use her practice so that the Kung Fu or the practice does not become an attachment, because her main goal is to resolve this samsara, resolve the birth and death in this life. How we not attached to this practice, sitting or listen to the the Dharma Talk or Kaiti, how can we truly practice this? And listen to the explanation from you or from the wise teachers, so that we create this trust in the mind, and we're able to walk on this path uh, correctly. So the basic is learning, and also have strong determination of resolving birth and death, and that is gonna take us to the absolute practice. In the teaching of the Buddha, he mentioned that we should generate this bodhicitta mind. When we practice this bodhicitta mind, if not, then it's gonna die now. The seed that we create is gonna die now. So we should always create this bodhicitta mind. So when the bodhicitta appears, then the cell attachment may be released. So in the teaching, sometimes people say that the great compassion, and people attach to that compassion. So when people practice the bodhicitta, the bodhisattva way, and sometimes they attach to their own action. If we generate a wrong bodhicitta mind, then it's gonna go in the wrong path, and it's gonna be really long and difficult to achieve the goal. So this teaching, when the Buddha, taught to his assembly, then the Arahants, the 500 Arahants, they didn't believe his teaching, and they left the assembly. So our seeds, maybe already have showed many lifetimes with the prajna seed, and now we're able to continue to cultivate, and we need to continue to generate this bodhicitta mind in the practice. So this is another example. So it's a hiker, right? One hiker is staying in the base of the mountain. Probably you're not gonna able to see everything. And the next hiker probably stand in the 2/3 of the mountain. He's only see the top of the people house. And another hiker, probably he's stand in the middle of the mountain. Probably he's able to see overall many other house and direction. But for the hikers, then all the way on the summit, the top, on the peak, he's able to see other mountains, or even, everywhere, 10 directions. So the people on the top able to see everything, and he's not really cannot explain the hikers, below the base. So when we realize that, we're able to see, the more in depth you go with this practice, you're able to experience your own. This is the practice we should learn. We should learn how to about the practice. So in the ancient time, the patriarchs, they have to walk really far away could be months before they reach their destination, the temple. So they can gain some learning about the practice, and they can start on the practice correctly. So, and when our minds have that kind of determination, it's able to take us. If we lack of this determination, we get so much slackiness or laziness, then it's create the obstacle, on the path for us. So in our practice, we should remember the mirrors, the roles, models of the patriarchs. They really, struggling, to find the teachers, to find the ones, who could teach them so they can practice. So nowadays, we get so advanced, with the technology. We're able to tap right on the source, and we're able to learn everything, on our fingertip. But we still struggle in a self-attachment. So wrong perspective and wrong learning, wrong understanding, and we're not able to understand the true word of the patriarchs. So we need to be careful about this. So we are running out of time today. So thank you, monks and nuns and